Hello, how's it going? In today's video, I'm covering the War of the Spider and Kel'Thuzad, and it's going to be brilliant, but also kind of short. Sorry, but let's go! We're going back to the Lich King. His power's grown, and he's built a pretty scary army, thanks to his plague of undeath. But he's about to face his first real test. As his plague spreads across Northrend, it drew the attention of the Nerubians, which is a race of insectoids I've previously covered in another video. They sat in their kingdom of Nerub and thought to themselves, piss on that Lich King. He can sod off if he thinks he's going to conquer stuff. Their leader, Anubarak, went out of his way to stop any attempt the Lich King made to spread his plague to their home. This annoyed the Lich King, so he decided he might as well just destroy them. His undead army fought against the Nerubians. Each insectoid that fell became part of his army, and soon, even Anubarak joined the Lich King's ranks. At this point, the Lich King came up with a plan. He needed to corrupt more powerful minds if he was going to be able to spread his plague to the Eastern Kingdoms. It would also be super awesome cool, as it would help him break free of the Legion. So he spread his consciousness across the world and was like, hey guys, want some power? And several answered the call. One of the peeps who answered the call was Kel'Thuzad. He'd once been a respected scholar of the arcane arts in Dalaran, but had recently decided to check out necromancy, and that's terrible. People hated it, and he was on the verge of being exiled from Dalaran. Kel'Thuzad basically saw the Kirin Tor as backwards and close-minded and a bunch of simpletons, and was pretty angry. Enter the Lich King's call, offering answers to all his questions, whilst conveniently leaving out the part where he currently answers to the Legion. And Kel'Thuzad was sold. He left Dalaran and travelled to Northrend. He witnessed the power of the Lich King. He saw the ruins of Nerub. He met with Anubarak, and he even observed the terrors within Naxxramas. And to be honest, he crapped his pants. He thought about running away, but the Lich King's servants made it very clear that that wasn't an option. His only choice was he going to serve the Lich King alive, or full-blown dead mate? Kel'Thuzad made the obvious choice, and the Lich King tasked him with heading to Lordaeron to get some more Lich King friends. So, Kel'Thuzad went to Lordaeron, and he pretended to be a holy man, preaching the hope of a new religion. And I'm fully aware that I lose subscribers every single time I make a Trump joke, but I don't care. If you can't handle a Trump joke, then piss off. He put on a ridiculous wig, and he won over the lower classes by promising to make Lordaeron great again. And he told them the mainstream media were all lying, and only he could make a difference because he's a billionaire. And he told them one particular female celebrity in Lordaeron was fat and ugly. And when he didn't think anyone was listening, he had a weird conversation with a guy called Billy Bush, and he was like, I'm a billionaire, grab him by the vagina. And there was a bit of outrage about it, but ultimately it didn't seem to change the fact that they loved him because he was different and he wasn't wearing a suit. Still here? Good, because he's going to use a different tact to win over the other classes, and I'm all about balance. He went up to a slightly hunchbacked socialist elderly man who everyone loved and kicked him in the chuff. He then pretended to care about things like minimum wage, equal pay, healthcare. At one point, someone was like, you look like you're unwell, and he was like, I'm fine. I'm fine. And at one point he used public ravens to send hundreds of raven messages containing sensitive information when he should have used private ravens. Okay, this video's gone off the rails. Fact is, he gained a number of followers, and these people would become known as the Cult of the Damned. Their headquarters would be established in Scholomance, or Sholomance. You decide. Kel'Thuzad taught his most loyal followers necromancy, and they began conducting gruesome experiments, animating skeletons and hacking apart corpses, and then using the pieces to create abominations. Kel'Thuzad then started his most important experiment. Using samples of the Lich King's plague of undeath, he worked to create a strain of the disease that was effective and subtle. His plan was spread the plague through Lordaeron's grain supplies. But the incubation period needed to be long enough that humans consumed the food before any symptoms surfaced. After a few months, he bloody cracked it, and we're leaving it there. So, we've got a couple more things to cover involving the Horde, the Alliance, Medivh, and the Lich King, but then we'll be finished with Chapter 1, and we'll be at the Warcraft 3 part of the story, the Arthas bit. Sylvanas becomes a Banshee, Illidan does some stuff. Lots to be excited about. Next Monday, we'll be looking at Thrall, his escape from internment, and his semi-rise to Warchief. If you want to see that or the Volume 2 video on Wednesday, make sure you're subscribed and I'll see you soon. If you enjoyed this weirdly political video, press the like button, talk to me in the comments, and all that's left to say is, thanks very much for watching and see ya!